So Toto Wolff has said that he's come out to speak in favor of his good friend Vasseur, who drives for Ferrari, and said, "Oh, I think needs to be given more time. He's a great person. If I wasn't the head of Mercedes, I'd make him the team principal for Mercedes." He also goes on to say that Vasseur and who's the team technical director, Sarah, Loic Sarah, that they haven't had enough time to develop the car. So we need to give them a pass on this year because they're experimenting with things and they take time. That may be the case, but here's my case for why Vasseur should be held responsible, and Sarah also, since he's the technical director. I'm going to repeat this, they were 14 points behind McLaren at the end of the season last year for the constructors, and second half of the season they had the fastest car. Their front, I forgot, I think they had a push pull. I'm not sure what their front suspension was. He was push pull or pull rod or push. But either way, whatever it was working. Leclerc was doing well. Leclerc had a much better season last year. Sainz was doing well, and they decided to change their front suspension in the last year of ground regulations, which is ridiculous because you don't start from zero in the last year into a regulation, a ground effect regulation, which reached its culmination this year. We're seeing that McLaren is bringing floor upgrades this year. I mean, next race, McLaren has been bringing in upgrades this year based on their concept, which reached a very high level last year. So now they're just pushing it forward. So they're taking the concept. It's like building a house. You start from the ground and you go to the sky. What Ferrari did was to cut from the sky and go all the way back to the ground with only 1 year. And on top of that, secondly, on top of that, they're not preparing for next year either, and they're continually trying to do upgrades for this year, which they waited too late. They were supposed to bring their upgrades for Imola, they did. So they're making a double mistake. They ruined their car which should have been a continuation year, a culmination year, which they should have been head to head with McLaren. And then on top of that, trying to salvage the car now rather than go for next year. So I'm not saying that we should get rid of Vasseur, but right now this looks like mismanagement. And Toto Wolff said, "Oh, Vasseur is not really a political guy, but he knows what he's doing." I wonder if he knows what he's doing technically, because I still don't understand these changes. A lot of people said they were making these changes for Hamilton, but even if you were going to make changes for Hamilton, you should make them moving to 2026, not totally destroy the car or make slight alterations the way McLaren, which is the best engineering team in the sport, is doing. What are your thoughts, Mr. Falabi?
Yeah, I quite agree with you. And if you look at the double DSQs that they had early this year, it was testament to the kind of, upsetting the apple cart, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
that they did to that car. Because, like you said, they did very well last season, towards the end of last season, and then they made radical changes, and it started affecting so many things that the car became unreliable in the first part of this season. So and as a leader in that kind of environment, the Ferrari environment is very unforgiving and toxic. So they're not going to give you any chance. You're going to be held accountable. And I guess that is
Mm-hmm.
probably why Toto Wolff is showing him some sympathy by saying Vasseur should develop a thick skin. But no matter how thick the skin is, you are ultimately going to be judged by the successes on the circuit. And the earlier you
Mm-hmm.
get it right, the better it is. And then the decision for bringing Hamilton again from Mercedes affected everything. I think that's why they started tinkering with the car, and
Yeah.
all these things just added up to make the environment very, very toxic for him. And I don't think whatever it is that Toto Wolff says about him is only going to get worse if the performances don't improve. That's
Yeah.
just what I
And it
feel.
doesn't help. I know it doesn't help when he said we keep changing drivers, we change team principle. We don't change one thing. He's talking about the CEO and the
Yes,
chairman. So he's taking a shot at them. Okay,
yes,
take a
taking a
shot at
dig,
them, guys.
he's taking a dig at the owners.
But make sure you do your job because we want to know why Ferrari they waited for delays on their upgrades, and now they're still talking about bringing upgrades. They were supposed to bring upgrades in Imola. They waited, and it seems like the car makes some progress, but then as soon as they make a little bit of progress, they're wasting time again with bringing in more and more upgrades, which shows there's an administrative problem in that team. It's either that it's the fault of the chairman and the CEO that they're not giving him the resources he needs, or it means he's not able to manage that team and handle all those responsibilities. And if that's the case, then they should bring in Horner to either be his boss and handle and get things done, or Horner replace him. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny?
I think Johnny stepped away. Maybe Kule can
Oh, what you
just.
thought, Mr.
Oh,
Conley? Oh,
okay,
Mr. Johnny, go ahead.
Mr. Johnny is back.
I'm back. I
You
had
were
to put
thinking
up
of
something.
Puff the Magic Dragon. Let me stop.
You said what?
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Gotta go for a pee.
Okay.
um, yeah, man. When I just reading that report you sent me about Toto Wolff, I
Mm-hmm.
think he would say nobody should disturb Vasseur because I'm sure he's hoping that Vasseur will do a worse job than him, or at
Yeah,
least
I was going to
he's
say that.
not
You
going
stole
to.
my point.
Yeah, he's not going to say that his competitor is doing better or should. So it's like like he's doing a bad job. Okay, leave him alone. He's doing a bad job. He's doing worse than me. I know, yeah, but that's just but jokes apart. Uh, yeah, Vasseur is in a situation at the moment. He has to prove everything right, and I don't know why they did that stuff with their car. Why they sometimes you think that you're doing something right until it happens, and then after some time it's bad, it's wrong, and
Yeah,
it's
but it's like going back
so
to the drawing board when you already had a good deal. When you
and
already
yeah,
were
and
doing well. Then you said, let's.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
we're
fun.
doing well, but let's go back to zero. Yeah.
It's funny, that's true. And then next year you're going to have a totally different car. I don't know why you just behaving like as if you're designing that same car, and it's really weird what they did. I don't know, really really weird.
And the funny thing is that they're going back to their original design last year. They're going back to it again now at the end of the year, but it's too late.
Too late, yeah, you see.
We still have
I
half
think
of the season. Let's see.
they had a plan. They had a plan. They want to roll one dice. Yes, the car was good enough. Then there's Hamilton put together, get some. They want to get one big win before next year's new rules and new stuff. But then it just went backfired. I mean,
The only thing that's going to
really,
save them
really
is that
back.
they're going to
Yeah,
come second in the constructors this year, but they got blown out. It's still not. This is not good enough. So
yeah.
my own view is just give Vasseur a 1 year contract, see how it goes next year, and see from there. Because there's still rumors that Horner will go to Alpine. They're saying Horner and Max Mosley or whoever the other guy's name is, Bernie Ecclestone. One of them is dead. I think Bernie Ecclestone is still alive. They're talking about coming together to buy Alpine. So we'll see. What are your thoughts, Kunle?
Well, in the immortal words of Apollo Creed, when Toto Wolff said he needs more time, Apollo Creed said, "There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow." And I don't think that the excuse that he needs more time in a sport which is defined by time.
Mm-hmm. It's defined by now. Is it
This
broken?
Uh-oh.
stretch.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that although Mercedes is slow, it's not doing well. They still have good race management. Toto Wolff is lifting the team above the sum of its parts, whereas it's quite the opposite for Ferrari, almost in terms of the synergy in the team, and with Horner the shark lurking around, looking for where to come in. It is a big problem for Vasseur whether he's going to retain that spot because this is a sport that is defined by time. There is no time.
No,
Time is what it's all about. So
well,
Vasseur,
you know what they say
if
in
he
jazz.
doesn't step up, he's out of time.
There's a song in jazz
Yes,
by
I
Charlie
mean,
Parker. The song goes like this: "Now is the time. Now is the time."
yes.
So yeah. So now, and of course, Toto Wolff is like it'll be just like Arteta saying, "I think Man U should start Rashford as a false nine and give him another chance." You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he's a Frenchman, Vasseur, in a very toxic Italian environment. The pressure is on him a lot. And I feel some of the decisions that he's taking, technical decisions, are being counteracted by forces that are higher than him, which is really affecting him. He may not be as assertive as someone like Christian Horner, So I think his leadership style is more reclusive. He's not as assertive as Horner. He's more of a technical guy. And I think it's affecting his fingerprint on the performances
Yeah.
of
But
Ferrari.
my only thing
But,
is that if
but,
he's a
but the
technical guy,
performances need to improve anytime soon.
yeah. But if he's such a technical guy, I go again. Why did he change 99% of the car? I guess you know what it was. He just made a mistake. I don't think they were thinking things through. because there's only one more year left. I think they got carried away
Yeah.
with the Lewis
They
Hamilton
were
hype.
looking for short fixes, basically.
What are your thoughts? Quick last thoughts, Mr. Johnny, and then we'll go to Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think they just rolled too many dices there. They didn't really think it through. I'm surprised if they probably asked Hamilton about some stuff and then he was like, yeah, because he probably, he's used to that kind of situation in Mercedes and he won't mind having it in Ferrari, and that probably caused a lot of system static, like that, So they should have just left the car the way it was and just put the driver there and then let Hamilton just try and just win something with it,
Yeah. And I think
But
that I think what they need to do now, we know that they're not going to come first in constructors. They need to get Hamilton on the podium before the end of this year and get Hamilton and Leclerc at least 1 or 2 victories. If they do that, that'll be considered a successful season. What do you think,
Sure. I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I think for them to do that, the only way Hamilton gets on the podium is for 1 or 2 cars in the top 5 to get a DNF.
But the car is getting
I
faster because
don't
he came
think
fourth.
that
He came fourth in Silverstone. He came fourth in Silverstone, so he might be.
Yes, fourth.
He seems to be
That's the best he can do. But I don't think that on merit, if all those cars finished, that Hamilton would finish
Okay, well, let's put it
ahead
like
of
this.
all but
Let's put
two.
it like this.
I don't
Let's put it like this. He was doing well in qualifying, and it seems like now Ferrari is the second fastest car right now. Funny enough, they're fast because Mercedes not doing well, Red Bull's not doing well. Red Bull with Max is fast, but Ferrari is one of the top 3 cars, so it's going to be difficult. For him? One of them to come on podium, it would mean that the 2 McLarens come first and second, and they can come third. I can see a weekend in which Hamilton can beat Leclerc and come third because Mercedes is not doing that well. You see what I'm saying? And then maybe it's a slow track because Red Bull doesn't do well on slow tracks. So I can see. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying that it will happen.
Leclerc is very inconsistent. That's
Leclerc has been on the podium.
I just think that Verstappen, Leclerc, and Russell will continue to take that 3rd spot, assuming the McLarens take the 1-2 or the 1-3.
But the thing about Leclerc is that you have to remember Leclerc will most likely outrace Hamilton, but Leclerc once in a while has a cheeky mistake. You get my point?
That's what I'm saying. He's very inconsistent.
Yeah. So I can see Leclerc 9 times out of 10, Leclerc will beat Hamilton to the pole, but I think maybe 1 or 2 times Hamilton's getting more comfortable with the car. So
that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah, and he's getting closer to Leclerc. He's getting closer. He's leaving Leclerc. He's beating Leclerc more often now than he was at the start of the season.
So he still has a slight chance. Yeah. So
I think he's going to unlock something. He's going to unlock something, and then you might see him constantly giving Leclerc more problems. Probably even. Probably even get him on podiums.
Yeah. But they need to try to get him on Leclerc. One of them needs to win a race before the end of this year, just to help for.
If he's going to get a podium, Spa is one of his best chances to. Actually, because it's a fast track.
Yeah, it's a very fast.
Very good show. So we'll do this again tomorrow. I feel like we take us out.
Okay, it's been another brilliant Formula One show. We've been discussing Fred Vasseur and the dynamics of being a team principal at Ferrari, and from Johnny. Myself, Mustafa, and Kule will be back again sometime tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay, Kule, I'll see you at 5:30 for politics. We haven't done a political show for some time. Can you do it? Yeah.
Okay.